It's time to get your geek on.
You complete me.
With Dave Gramillion.
All right. Welcome to another Sunday afternoon in gorgeous South Texas. This is Get Your Geek On. We do have some breaking news that we're going to be able to get to here in just a little bit, so stick around. You're going to want to hear everything that's going on. I am Dave Gramillion, and you have found one of the most listened to talk radio shows for geeks in the United States of America. Our show here is powered by the Texas Renaissance Festival, with over 650,000 people attending the event going on right now through November 25th. Get your tickets at texrenfest.com. This is Season 3, Episode 20, and today on Freedom 1160 and freedom1160.com, we have some Star Wars news we want to get into. Mark Hamill, in my opinion, really stepped in it. I mean, I know some people are kind of indifferent about this one. Some people are like, it's no big deal. But for me, I got to call out Mark Hamill on something that he said. This is not very good. We have our weekly poll that we want to talk about. The results are in, and it wasn't even close. It was incredibly lopsided. We're going to find out who's watching Star Wars Resistance and who is not. Some Marvel news as well. This is interesting because we think we know what has really helped to kill the Iron Cage and Luke Fist. You see what I did there? Yeah, Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Come on, I just want to make sure you're still paying attention out there. And what is going to be coming to the Disney streaming app? We're going to talk about that and more as well. Some Star Trek news that broke late in the week. I think it was Thursday that this broke. Their new animated series has been announced. We know what it's called, we know what it's about, and we know who's behind it. I don't know that everyone's thrilled about it, though. We're going to find out exactly what's going on here in Star Trek land. Alrighty, so let me introduce my motley crew here. This will be, now that we're back in the comfy confines of the Freedom 1160 studios, we're going to be looking to my left, that's your right, as you look across your radio dial. He's the new guy in town, and he is Aaron Shapiro.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Tired.
You're tired?
I slept like 2 hours. I wasn't joking when I said that earlier.
Oh, well, alrighty then. Hey, did you see Michael Jordan is going to get into the esports business?
No.
Yes. This broke late.
Oh my gosh, I missed that.
This also broke late on Thursday.
Oh no.
Yeah. What is Axiomatic? The parent group for Team Liquid.
Oh gosh.
He's leading a $26 million round of funding for the ownership group. Michael Jordan is going to get into esports. Brace yourself.
I missed that.
Okay, well, now you learned something.
I did.
Everybody gets to learn something on this show.
I did learn something.
Our audience does. Our co-host does. This is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, and I shouldn't have. I should have known this. I'm sad.
Well, it broke. It broke pretty late. Don't worry about it.
Probably was asleep for those 2 hours.
It probably was. If you look further to my left, your right, across the radio dial, you will see the man spinning the ones and zeros. He is our sound prognosticator, and he is Goose.
Hello.
Hey, Goose, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. The weather finally, gave us a break.
Yes, it did.
Holy
oh my gosh!
Cow, this weekend has been picture perfect.
So far.
Well, yeah, so far, of course. But after what we've endured for the last 2 months?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Because it started around Labor Day, that crappy, cruddy weather that we got.
Well, even 2 weeks ago when, it didn't stop raining for a week.
I mean, I know Jason Momoa's not going to be here until November 10th, but it seemed like Aquaman was living here already. That's how much rain we got. I kid you not. It was incredible.
Dave wanted to call himself Ocean Master. I made him stop.
He's not wrong.
Before
we get into the meat of the show, though, we want to wish a very heartfelt recovery, best wishes, and warm fuzzies to John Williams. The man who has literally scored every soundtrack in the history of ever when it comes to blockbusters. Star Wars, E.T., Jurassic Park, Hook. I mean, we could go on and on and on. The guy has won 147,000 Academy Awards.
Oh, wow.
It's like if he's up for an Oscar, nobody even bothers to write music anymore. They're like, what's the point?
And like, oh, well, he has another one.
He did the Superman theme. He did Indiana Jones. But he's been hospitalized. They said it was just an illness. They didn't disclose what the illness was, if it was just exhaustion, dehydration, the flu, pneumonia, we don't know. But it was enough to where they hospitalized him. He had to cancel one of his conducting performances at the BBC reported it. I forget where it was. It might have been in the Royal Albert Hall. I'm not sure. So we want to wish John Williams a very speedy recovery. Dun, 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 dun. Just incredible. Hopefully, please get better. Well, we can't handle losing John Williams. We can't do that.
By the way, you noticed that our sound clips or music clips are less than what they normally are?
Yeah, it's weird how that works.
Yeah, it's weird how YouTube works.
Thanks. Thanks.
For the record, John Williams is how old is John Williams?
60.
Dirt.
It's 60. No, he was born February 8th, 1932.
Oh. So he is 86.
86 years old. Looking at it, just as Wikipedia here, his career spans. I don't want to use the past tense. I'm sorry. Spans 6 decades. Star Wars, Jaws, Close Encounters, Superman, E.T., Indiana Jones, the first 2 Home Alone films, Hook, Jurassic Park 2, Schindler's List, first 3 Harry Potter films, the 1984 Summer Olympic Games, Sunday Night Football, and no kidding, he wrote the music for the first season of Gilligan's Island.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. I thought I knew everything there was about John Williams, but okay.
So now you learned something new.
Now we all have.
Yes.
And now we all have. All right. So with that being said, let's go ahead and we'll dive right into some Star Wars news.
I'm looking forward to completing your training. In time, you will call me Master.
Alrighty, so earlier this week, might have been late last week, Mark Hamill, he clarified what killed Luke Skywalker. First of all, yes, Luke really is dead. He was not a Force ghost the whole time like some people thought he might have been, or some people thought that maybe he actually projected himself somewhere else. No, Luke is dead.
Was it?
Spoiler alert.
Was it?
That was kind of late.
Ben, you're breaking my heart.
Yeah, no, he didn't die of a broken heart.
Okay.
Nothing like that. So, but people speculate, it's like, how can he just die like that? What's the deal? And so he tweeted this out, quote, "The Force killed Luke." And he put that out there in all capital letters. The Force killed Luke. You have to acknowledge the irony in his fate. Almost like an addict that kicked his habit cold turkey, remained clean for decades, only to reuse just once and then tragically overdoses. That is Mark Hamill. Okay. First of all, I find the comment to be in poor taste. Because there are a lot of people out there who have lost somebody to an overdose.
Right.
Yes.
We lost Heath Ledger to an overdose.
Yes.
We lost John Belushi to an overdose.
Chris Farley
To an overdose. And we lost Carrie Fisher to complications. I mean, she didn't exactly overdose, but there were, I think, like 4 different drugs in her system when she died. He tweeted this out the day after what would have been her birthday.
Ooh.
The day after, he tweets out about how the Force killed Luke because it was almost like an addict that kicked his habit cold turkey, remained clean for decades, only to reuse just once and then tragically overdoses.
Could have been worse. Could have done it the day of.
Yeah, he could have. But Mark, dude. Okay, first of all, I don't know how you overdose on the Force.
So is that a party foul?
Yeah, I'm not.
Not a
it's a
guy code violation?
15-yard penalty. Roughing the audience.
Dang.
Roughing your coworker. I mean, man.
Ooh,
I'm not a fan of this tweet in any way, shape, or form. I'm not a fan of the timing. And even if he'd said it on, I don't know, the winter solstice, it wouldn't matter to me because it'd still be in poor taste.
Well, that's just like a week before she died.
Summer solstice then.
But that's only, never mind.
Shut up. Quiet, you.
But isn't that, never mind.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when The Last Jedi came out.
So but here's the thing. So, I mean, come on. You're really going to compare Luke dying in a movie, a fictional character dying in a movie, to a junkie overdosing after they've been clean for decades. I mean, come on. Dude. That's...
He wasn't thinking when he said that, I bet you. It was just, this sounds good to me. Post,
I mean, on the one hand, in that context, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things you just don't say.
No.
Keep that to yourself and just say the Force killed Luke and just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Yes, he did technically cut himself off from the Force. Spoiler alert. And then he reused the once, I guess. But
Is it
it's-
really a spoiler alert if the movie's been out on DVD for 6 months or 4 months?
Well, probably not. But at the same time, we want to stop those angry tweets coming our way. So why take chances?
Why stop now?
Let's bring the tweets.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get y'all riled up about something else, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
No, I got to call foul on Mark Hamill on this one. I really do. I'm not a fan of this in any way, shape, or form. Am I overreacting?
Well, considering he's not the director, because if Rain Johnson says no, then
Well, that's a different story.
because we all know how Zack Snyder loves to talk about his stuff.
years and years
God.
later. But what
That's
do
a
you
whole
think?
nother rant.
Am I overreacting?
I don't think so. I think the timing itself was the worst part.
Yes.
I mean, maybe if it was months later, maybe I'd be a little bit better about it. But like you said, it was the day after she died. It wasn't.
And
back
Carrie
in-
Fisher's that's one of the things she's known for. She even embraced it late in her life.
Wasn't even when she filmed the original one. She was addicted. I could be wrong. Wasn't she addicted to alcohol or something or drugs?
Return
back then?
of the Jedi, she was on cocaine.
Yeah. So I mean,
And then for like years after, she was abusing God only knows what, but a lot.
yeah. So I think it's all in poor taste because of that. The fact that he knew this was the day after her birthday.
Yeah.
So like you said, the only thing that would have made it worse if it was her birthday.
I mean, I saw so many touching tributes on social media.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher's Our Princess, all these great pictures. The video that Lucasfilm made after her death, the tribute video, and John Williams conducting music for her and things like that. And then there's this, and I'm like, really, bro? I mean, this is the direction you want to go the day after her birthday. You want to say that that Luke essentially overdosed on the Force.
Yeah. The timing's just terrible.
It
Timing
Should've
was
waited.
horrible.
Now, speaking of Mark Hamill,
Yes.
and I'm sure this is unrelated because this decision was a while
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
But he's not going to be the Joker in the next animated Harley Quinn series.
I'm kind of okay with that because we need new blood in this Batman pantheon.
Yeah.
Well,
And he
I-
retired, I thought, anyway, from doing it.
Well, but you can always back a...
Really? Have you seen The Killing Joke?
Well, that was his comment. He would only come back for that one movie.
Until they
And then
back
that
a
was it.
dump truck full of cash to his door.
I mean, that's
And they're
true.
like, come on back.
Come
so
back.
So
We
here's the
need
thing.
you,
I would be upset at this, except they picked the one person who could pull this off.
Oh, really?
There's only one voice actor that I can even think
He's the
of
one.
that could pull this off, and they picked Alan Tudyk,
Yes, they did.
the voice of the Duke of Weaseltown in Frozen.
Weaselton.
Yeah, Wesselton.
Wesselton.
It's Wesselton. And also the voice of King Candy in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
You're forgetting one
yeah,
important
King-
voice, though, too.
Well, I hadn't gotten there
Okay,
yet.
making sure.
He was also Wash.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true. He
Do you-
was washed.
Do you know how... what are they called? The Ravager... in Firefly,
Reavers.
Yeah,
The Reavers. You know how the Reavers clean their harpoons?
Oh, gosh.
They run them through the wash.
It's terrible.
That's horrible.
I cried when he died.
Spoiler
I've
alert.
seen the trailers for that Harley Quinn series, at least one of them.
Yep.
And it has a Batman the Animated Series, the later years vibe to it.
that fourth season? I
Yeah,
think?
that one
so.
where I had the Tim Drake.
Yeah, where
Robin,
every woman had a waist like -2 size.
Yeah.
I mean, good God.
That's when they brought out the Superman cartoon at the same time, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
they had
yeah,
that.
that was it.
and,
That's
when
Dick
they
Grayson was
moved
Nightwing at
everybody.
that point.
Yeah,
Yes.
this guy, he's the solid choice. If you're
Yeah.
going to pick somebody to be the Joker, this guy is an accomplished and dynamic voice actor.
You still forgot his other voice he did from Moana.
The chicken?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That was
Yeah,
his best
yeah,
one.
Now,
he should have won an award for He Hit.
Interesting little tidbit of trivia.
Oh, yes.
He was also in the show Powerless.
Yes, he
Yes.
was.
He was a cousin of Bruce Wayne.
Yep. And
I loved him in that show.
And
That
he-
show was so great.
and he was in Dollhouse.
Yes, he
Yeah,
was.
he was.
He
That's
was
right.
he was the super creepy psychotic
Because Joss
guy.
Whedon likes to recycle his actors.
Yes. Yes, he does. And for that, we say thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we also want to thank our friends over at Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch. Hey guys, Halloween is right around the corner, and they have some terrific events going on, including a costume contest, a wand painting and potion making class, and a costume contest. I said that twice, but that was to kind of emphasize it.
Emphasize, yeah.
But they're also doing trick or treating. You can come by the store and get candy. I don't know who else is doing that because nobody else has told me. I'm sure somebody else is. But come on, it's Dragon's Lair of Alamo Ranch. It's a wonderful store to go to anytime, day or night. It doesn't really matter. But on Halloween, they're going to have a lot of things going on. So head on over. It's Dragon's Lair on Alamo Ranch, which is off of 151 and 1604 on the northwest side of San Antonio. Well, let's face it, that pretty much is the West Side.
West Side.
West Side.
Anyway.
Alrighty, so speaking of Star Wars as well, let's talk about briefly our weekly poll results. Nearly 3,000 of y'all voted. The question was, are you or are you not watching Star Wars Resistance? Now, the reason, you don't have to be no because I'm boycotting. It could be because you don't have access to Netflix or wherever it's streaming.
Or Disney or the Disney Now
XD
app or whatever.
wherever it's streaming. You could say, no, all I have is, I don't have cable. It doesn't matter. It's either yes, you're watching it or no, you're not. The reasoning's not important. Almost 3,000 people voted and 71% said they're not watching. 71, it's 29% said they were watching. 71% said, not watching.
So roughly
Wow.
3,000
Like
to roughly 900 people out of the 3,000.
Yeah, that'd be about right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a
That'd be
pretty
about
good
right.
sample size. 3,000 people.
Yeah.
And again, it didn't
But it's
matter
an
why,
internet
but-
poll, so scientific is not the thing.
Well, none of us are
hold
scientists, so that
science.
works.
Yeah, that's true.
That works out fine. We'll put up another weekly poll starting, well, actually, there's already one up there now. So if you want to go to facebook.com/GYGO radio, look for the poll and vote because your vote matters.
What about you guys? Are y'all gonna watch it? So we add to one side or the other in this one.
Well, my Sundays are busy, so
Well, but he means at any point.
Oh, I'll
you know,
probably-
binge
Yeah,
it or something.
DVR
I
it
may,
or
I may
whatever.
watch a few episodes, but I didn't watch anything beyond the first season of Rebels. I watched.
you didn't watch the last. I don't know. You watched the last
Nope.
couple episodes.
Nope.
No, you
oh
didn't.
wow.
Well, I watched snippets. It's like I watched snippets of the Clone Wars.
Okay.
It's just not my thing. It's just, and, they're cute, they're fun. If I have kids, we'll sit down and watch them together, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just not that hardcore into Star Wars where I'm going to watch every episode of every series that will ever come out in the history of ever.
Yeah.
But I did watch the holiday special. So
Hold on.
scoreboard.
Hold on. Are you saying that there's something wrong with watching every episode of every series in the history of ever for any franchise?
I didn't say any franchise.
Okay, because I'm like that with Star Trek.
Nor did I say anything was wrong with that either. It's just not it's not my bag, baby. Alrighty. So quickly here in the time that we have left, we want to go ahead and flip the coin. And it's still a Disney property, so it's kind of the same coin, but we're talking some Marvel news.
This is that sequel to the smash hit with no equal. This one's for the true fan.
Alrighty, so Marvel. It's all about Netflix.
Oh Lord.
Iron Fist kicked the bucket last week. They canceled that, pulled the plug, it was gone. And now Luke Cage is officially off the books as well. No more Luke Cage. That's half the Defenders gone. They're gone. No more.
They got dusted.
Yeah, Thanos snapped his finger, and that was
Well,
all.
I think
that was
Kevin
all she
Feige
wrote.
or somebody at Netflix.
Snapped their finger. Yeah, that'd be about right.
Put the glove on just to
Remember,
make it look like it.
whenever somebody asks me, "Hey, who would win in a fight, Darth Vader or this guy, or Thanos or this guy?" You know, my answer is the writers win.
That's very true.
There's nothing more powerful in any part of any franchise ever than the writers.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
Absolutely. So, Daredevil though killed it in season 3.
Yes, I loved it.
We had another long hallway fight.
Yep.
I mean, just another fun time for everybody. The cinematography is good, the writing's good, the story's good, action's good. Daredevil nailed it.
He did. He really did. That church fight scene was probably the best one, I think, in that whole series.
Yep, they bring in Bullseye.
Bring in Bullseye. Melvin comes back, who is a gladiator.
Yep, and it's not the Colin Farrell Bullseye.
No.
I'm Bullseye.
He made me miss. Oh my gosh, I hated that line so much.
That was so bad. I hated the one where he points at his forehead and goes, Bullseye. It's like, yeah, we get it. Thank you.
Can you do that one more time?
No.
Just one more time.
No.
One more time. Come on.
Bullseye.
There you go.
All right,
That's what I wanted.
That's the last time. Your next meme, everybody.
Oh yeah.
So so what can we expect from Marvel going forward now? Well, first you can expect it to go to Disney streaming. We don't know when the app is coming out, but they've already announced that they're done with Netflix at some point.
Right.
Yes.
Their contracts.
However, I read an article on Thursday about what else may have caused the demise of Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
And we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show.
Okay.
No fair getting ahead of the game now. But so the big question, though, is are they going to revive those two shows as Heroes for Hire on the Disney streaming app?
I still think my theory is going to happen.
What's your theory?
So I think I told it both to y'all, I believe.
Tell us a story,
Is that
Aaron.
it's the story of a lovely. Anyway, so I think it would be awesome if they got canceled. Like you said, Disney has the Disney streaming service, but they also own a huge stake in Hulu. So it may also go to Hulu. The fact is, if they go to Hulu, they can maybe keep it darker because I know they want their Disney one to be a little bit more kid friendly.
True.
So they might move it to Hulu, and if they do, they can go a darker route. But I think the ad campaign should be like this: that since Danny was fired technically, and Luke has been fired, that they just happen to be walking in the streets, or Luke's walking, Danny's on the bench just chilling, and Luke Cage just happens to see him. Hey, hey, what's going on? How you been? Kind of talking, and Danny's like, "Oh man, I got fired."
We're gonna take the midnight train to anywhere.
Pretty much. And then he's like, how you been, Luke? Though, I'll get back on my feet. I can live in this little hobo area because that's where he does. And Luke's like, oh yeah, I got let go too. And then we should start a job. And then it's just them two sitting on the bench. And then Heroes for Hire logo pops up.
If Joss Whedon were writing that, the first thing he'd say is, we should start a band.
So let me ask you a question. If it goes to Hulu, would you like for them to cross over with Runaways or keep Runaways as its own thing?
No, I think it'd be awesome if they actually crossed over with Runaways. I really would like that. I would like for them to keep everything together. It would be nice not having to watch Gifted and watch Runaways and watch this, and no one's part of anything except the ones on Netflix are all part of each other, and that's it.
Some of the most popular episodes of the DC verse, the Arrowverse, are the crossovers.
Exactly.
People love it when they get together.
Elseworld.
However, it's also not about it is about rather giving people too much of that. If every episode were a crossover, it would get stale and boring.
That's true.
Yeah.
But this year's Arrowverse crossover,
Here it comes.
Goosey likely,
Goosey likey.
Goosey likey.
But see, they could always just through the side characters too, like Moon Knight and all that. You can always bring them in and move them to Runaways, bring them back, just like they do throughout Arrow and Flash. Felicity moves around.
So getting back to this Disney streaming app, because this is going to be something really special. I mean, they're already kind of teasing a few things here and there, but I think they wanted to see what the DC Universe app was going to do, what kind of content they would put in, what direction they were going to move this to. And I don't think the DC Universe app has disappointed with the new content.
No, it has not.
So with that being said, I firmly predict that Marvel will have at least 4 shows on the Disney streaming app that all have new characters.
Oh,
okay.
Not Luke Cage, not Iron Fist, but now they may have they may do a Heroes for Hire. That may be show number 5.
Yeah.
But I foresee 4 new shows, and here it comes. Your Stone Cold lead pipe, take it to the bank, lock. One of them's going to be a Squirrel Girl series.
Oh gosh.
No.
You have to. It appeals to the kids.
With Anna Kendrick?
Yeah.
It appeals. Oh, please.
Baby.
Well, what about New Warriors on Freeform with Squirrel Girl as part of that gas?
The AT&T girl is Squirrel Girl. So I mean, I'd be okay with that too. But I'm telling you, it would appeal to kids. It could be animated too.
Yeah.
You just give her the overbite and you're good to go. But it appeals to kids. It appeals to girls, which Disney loves to do. Isn't that right, Star Wars fans? And it appeals to adults as well because Squirrel Girl is a rather dynamic superhero who did take down Dr. Doom and Thanos.
No.
And also, you asked for Squirrel Girl animated. That's already happening with Marvel Rising.
True, but I mean a series of her own, though.
Yeah.
So we could go live action. We could go animated, but I firmly predict we'll get 4 series.
Yeah.
And one of them will be Squirrel Girl in some form.
So here's a question for you. So over the summer, this coming summer, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to have season 7. It's going to be a 13-episode run after Avengers 4.
Okay.
So that way you don't have to deal with anything falling out of between Infinity War and Avengers 4.
Okay.
If it survives to a season 8,
big if.
do you think it would be more apt to go on ABC or to go to the Disney app and be the anchor to draw people in?
It depends. I don't think it's a big enough anchor, to be honest.
No.
But I think that...
Better than Inhuman season 2.
Well, that's certainly true. But
I liked Inhumans.
but
so did I, but it wasn't a second season worthy show.
The big question is, if you take it off of ABC, what do you replace it with? You got to have something waiting in the wings other than Dancing with the Stars.
Does Disney own ABC, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And ESPN, amazingly enough.
And apparently Nathan Fillion as well.
And apparently they own Nathan Fillion. And hey, this just in, they now own Weather. Not the Weather Channel. They just own all the weather. So they own that.
We need
too.
for it to be sunny and 70 in Orlando.
Yeah, you're waiting a long time there, aren't you?
Remember that they have
weather.
a kingdom of hearts.
Oh boy. So all right, so
52.
I can see that. What's your prediction? Do you have a Disney streaming app prediction?
I kind of think I'm going to go with you. There's going to be 4 shows. I really think a good show for it would be Fantastic Four, because you can draw out each character and each get their own time.
Goose, your prediction for streaming app? Quick, go.
It's going to have its own original content, whether it be Disney, Marvel, or whatnot. Could have Star Wars. It's already going to have a Star Wars show, probably at least one Marvel show as well.
Alrighty, so we got a break here for the bottom half of the hour news. Coming up afterwards, a whole bunch more. There's your hook. We'll see you on the other side of the half hour here on Freedom 1160 and freedom1160.com. All right, welcome back from the bottom of the hour news break. This is Get Your Geek On Freedom 1160 Talk Radio, powered by the Texas Renaissance Festival. With over 650,000 people attending the event going on right now through November 25th, get your tickets at texrenfest.com. I am Dave Gramillion, and you are listening to one of the most listened to talk radio shows in all of the United States for geeks just like you. But if you missed the first half of the show, or if you've missed any of our interviews, if you've missed any of our breaking news or anything at all, you just want to get caught up, you can do that on our award-winning podcast that's now on Spotify, iTunes, Omni, Stitcher, Google Play, and I'm always missing the 6th one.
Tune in.
Tune in.
Now, you want to know something interesting?
Ooh, hit me with it.
If everyone that's listening to us right now via podcast shares this podcast with one person, we double our audience.
Whoa.
Telling you.
That'd be pretty sweet.
And as always, rate, review, subscribe, because it helps geeks just like you find us easier.
Absolutely. All right, very cool. And we promised to get the new guy here, Aaron, some Robitussin. If you'll rate, review, and subscribe,
Otherwise, let me stay.
We'll get him some Dayquil or something, because you're killing us here. You're there. We go. Hey, thank you, Goose.
You're welcome.
Appreciate killing them.
You're
right
welcome.
there. All right, a little bit of news and notes here before we get into some more of the news that's been breaking lately. Our guest next week will be Bob Wills. We will have him here in studio with us. Bob is the CEO and founder of PMX Events and a little thing called the Celebrity Fan Fest.
Yes.
That thing has really turned some heads in San Antonio. Ben Affleck, Jason Momoa, Jewel State, Ray Fisher, Jason Flanagan?
No, Joe Flanagan.
Joe Flanagan, among others, will be here in San Antonio at the JW Marriott November 10th and 11th.
It's half the Justice League and about half of the Stargate Atlantis crew.
And we will have him here in studio to talk about the event and answer a lot of questions, frankly, that are out there. Like, the JW Marriott, what kind of a hall is that going to be? What's the availability like? Is the parking going to be okay? Do we have any other announcements, any other names coming out, and so on and so forth? We will have Bob here in studio with us to talk about everything related to the Celebrity Fan
To the
Fest.
best of my knowledge, we're the only radio interview he's doing.
Yes, and in fact, I can pretty much confirm that for the time being. Of course, that can change, but right
as of
now,
right now, as far as we know,
yeah, we're the only radio show he's going to talk to.
Yep.
That is it. So we get the exclusive. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, well then let's go ahead and also talk about our friends over at the Heroes and Villains of Cosplay here in San Antonio. It's not easy to cosplay. You have a lot of questions. You're not sure what to cosplay, or maybe you have a unique cosplay, and those guys of the 501st and Rebel Legion don't quite dig your steampunk Luke and Leia mix Skywalker. Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing if you're the Heroes and Villains of Cosplay. Havoc here in San Antonio will answer all your questions. They're a great group of people to hang around. I strongly recommend you take a look at them over on Facebook. Alrighty, so with that being said, here's the big breaking news that came out early in the week. Some Star Trek news. Let's get into that.
Yeah. If you see Klingons, better make sure that your face is out. And if you're in the fleet, grab your uniform, cause it's future chic. All the haters know, we got photon torpedoes. Throw the Vulcan up if you're not from Romulus, and stay with me now, live long and prosperous.
New guy, can you do that?
You mean Vader?
The Vader.
Vader. Vader time.
No, it's Vulcan. It's Vulcan time. You live long and prosper. You can do this.
Well, he's talking about the pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
would
I
never-
got you.
at least someone caught that.
I thought like Darth Vader.
Former
like,
world champion Vader. In
Gotcha. Okay.
Vader time.
All right.
fact, he just passed away recently.
Yeah, like what, a year ago?
No, like 6 months ago, something like
Oh,
that.
okay.
So anywho, CBS All Access has announced that they will have a 2-season. They've already signed on for a second
I
season.
know, right?
Half-hour comedy called Star Trek Lower Deck, which will focus on the support crew serving one of Starfleet's least important ships. I got to admit, when I first heard this announcement, I was like, what? A Star Trek comedy animated series, huh?
Yeah. Now, of course, we all know that they did the animated series in the 70s.
Yes.
Which was actually very good. In fact, I actually own... That's the only series I actually own 100% of.
However, that wasn't comedy.
No, it was not.
Star Trek doesn't do... The most comedy we've seen in Star Trek is probably when Cisco played baseball against the Vulcans,
I don't know.
or when Picard ever got together with Loxana Troy.
I don't know. Have you seen Cupid?
That
Season
was
5, Robin
I am
Hood.
not a merry man.
Yes,
yeah, that
one was good.
That's pretty good, but that's as most comedies we've seen. So now they're going to do this comedy. Let me read this again. I want to make sure I get this right. It will focus on the support crew serving on one of Starfleet's least important ships.
So in season 6, they kind of did I think a backdoor pilot almost, and it was called Lower Decks, and it had junior officers.
Okay.
In it, it had the Bajoran who was with Wesley in season 5's episode about the academy.
Yes. Yep.
And she ended up having to go and go do a mission against the Cardassians.
Right.
So this actually is intriguing because it's not going to focus on the bridge crew.
Not even
which
close.
will be the first time, and it's not a real. It's not the Enterprise.
Right.
It's not having any relation that we know of to any characters we know of.
Now, the more I read about this, the more it reminded me of a Star Wars comedy series, and we'll get into this here in a second. Mike McMahon is involved, and if you don't know who Mike McMahon is, don't feel bad. I didn't either.
Oh, yeah.
He's the head writer for a little show.
Tiny.
You probably
Tiny
don't
show.
know. I mean, hardly anybody knows this one. It's Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I've never
Okay.
seen an episode of that in my life.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're missing out. So he's the head writer for Rick and Morty, and he wants to do this show. In fact, he pitched it, and the CBS executive said, quote, "Mike won our hearts with his first sentence." So you know it's a good one, right?
Yeah.
The first sentence is, "Hi, I'm Mike from Rick and Morty." And his next sentence was, "I want to do a show about the people who put the yellow cartridge in the food replicator so a banana comes out on the other end."
So, you think it'll be like a Kirk era series?
I'm kind of getting that way. I'm getting that vibe. Now supposedly Mike McMahon is a huge Trekkie. His dog's name is Riker.
Yeah. So
nice.
what if they use the same animation style that Filmation used in the 70s, and we might be able to actually get a decent crossover?
Ooh, now that'd be fun.
It could be William Shatner's return to Star Trek.
Okay, so Rick and Morty,
Yes.
Starfleet, the least important ship, the
Yeah.
support crew, the people who put, you order a banana and they put in the yellow cartridge and it comes
So
out.
not the Enterprise.
And it's going to be an animated comedy. So is it just me, or is this Star Wars Detours, but for Star Trek?
Yeah.
This seems like exactly what Star Wars fans were going to get with Detours.
I'm kind of okay
So-
with this.
I kind of, the more I think about it, and the more I get past my snobby Star Trek attitude of, Star Trek, Captain Picard,
Which we're getting, by the way.
Earl Grey tea. The more I think about it, the more I really like this idea.
Yes. I'm all over this. And it kind of, Paramount or CBS has talked about doing year-long Star Trek on CBS All Access. We've already got Discovery.
Yes.
We've got the Picard series coming out. And with this one on the horizon now, that's 3.
That's 3 series.
And we know that they were in line to do 4.
True.
So could this actually be the year-round Star Trek that we've been hearing about?
It's possible, although with comedy, with animated series, it gets because you got to draw those things, you got to get those things cranked out.
Yeah.
It's a little more difficult and time-consuming to
It
do.
is.
Now, here's my question. I've got a name in my head that absolutely must be a voice actor for this series.
Alan Tudyk's doing Harley Quinn.
Nope.
That was my
In fact, I would argue that this series, Star Trek Lower Deck, owes its existence to this person.
Lucy Ball.
Nope.
Well, that's the original
Well, that's
series.
the original series.
Oh.
But this voice actor, I'm going to credit as being the father or at least the uncle of this series.
Is it Steven Stanton?
Nope.
Steve Tyler.
Nope.
No. I just had
Not
that
even
right
Steven
now.
Spielberg. Let's get off the Steves entirely. Let's just stop it. I'm talking about Seth MacFarlane.
No.
Yes.
No.
The Orville.
Seth
or whatever?
MacFarlane, he got the Orville
No.
going. It's a comedy series that,
No.
that makes fun of Star Trek. I want Seth MacFarlane in this show.
Is that,
No.
is that one going still?
Yeah, season 2.
Yeah.
It's coming back in 2019.
And
Okay.
First season was a big hit.
Which is
So-
weird.
People
A
like
lot
it.
of
That would
geeky
make
shows are coming
sense.
back in 2019.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Gotham for this
Well,
final season.
To be fair, that's a couple of months away.
Yeah, but still, our fall season wasn't all that geeky
No.
compared to last year.
Yeah, that's true. No, I want
So-
Seth MacFarlane in the show in the worst way.
He would be perfect, I think, for it.
He would be awesome. I want him as like a droid or something.
Here's one.
I think he'd be awesome.
Mark Hamill.
Ooh.
Yes.
Mark Hamill would be
It came up.
intriguing.
It came up on our Facebook. Check it. Facebook.com/SkyGoRadio.
Can we get him as like a Klingon or something?
Oh,
That'd be-
as the
that'd-
bad guy. I want him as the
Yes,
bad guy.
Mark Hamill as the villain in
He could be
a
the head.
comedy series.
They could
That'd
do
be
the
great.
conspiracy prequel.
Okay, it's a comedy.
I know.
It's a comedy. Let's keep it at that. And it's about the support crew serving on one of Starfleet's least important ships. So we can definitely have Mark Hamill as the villain. I want
He
Seth
has to be, like,
MacFarlane.
the goofiest villain.
We need Seth MacFarlane in this.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Absolutely.
No.
I kind of have to say, I think we do need him.
I think I know who else you think we need in the show that we don't.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Look at this.
I think I know who else you think we need in the show that we don't.
Marina Sirtis,
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton,
Oh, God.
Will Wheaton. Maybe I don't know.
The Wesley Crushers.
Can we get Terry? Help me out here. Jadzia Dax.
Terry Farrell.
Terry Farrell. Thank you.
You know what's funny? I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about Trials and Tribulations.
Okay.
Because it was Deep Space Nine's 30th anniversary episode.
Yes.
For Star Trek. And Terry Farrell said that Spock was handsome. Or Jadzia did. Terry Farrell married Leonard Nimoy's son.
Yes, she did. How about that for you?
Yes.
Which, by the way,
Okay.
Terry Farrell nailed that episode. I don't know why, but she was one of the more memorable parts of that episode. I can't think of a reason why. No, it's no. I just can't stop thinking about it. Can't.
And
I
how
don't know why.
about Alexander Siddig's haircut?
Oh, that was hilarious right there. That was really awesome.
You know, I found out another in joke about that one. You know, when O'Brien says that's Kirk,
Yes,
that's actually William Shatner's stunt double.
No kidding.
Yeah. So that was funny in the first place. So you know that inside joke is like that makes it even funnier.
That is pretty good.
That's awesome.
All right, so a Star Trek animated comedy series that is so far and away removed from the gallant adventures that we know and love. What's the over/under on how long this series will last? I mean, obviously,
Honestly,
2 seasons.
I could see it running 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Aaron, what do you think?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. I'm
I think we're out of
inclined.
material about that point.
I think the over/under right now is 4.
Yeah.
Just because I don't know when
Well, 2 is
when the charm
guaranteed.
wears. Yeah, 2 is guaranteed. So I would say 2 more before the charm kind of wears off. And Robot Chicken, it kind of has that appeal to it. But
They did
I don't
order
know.
2, but who knows if they'll cancel if the first season bombs enough. They may just cancel the second season altogether.
well, that's entirely possible. And it is on CBS All Access, so it's not like
that's-
you're going to see this on Netflix or anything.
And it's not like it's going to be cheap then at that point either.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's going to go up in price.
Well, no, I'm talking about Discovery's been an expensive show. And
True,
so
8
this,
million an episode.
Yeah. So, yeah. So
Yeah, we got
you know.
invited. We got invited to go see the first 2 by the local Trekkies here in San Antonio. So, and when we came out, I looked at Goose. I was like, "We just watched $16 million go across the screen."
And not one scene had the Discovery in it.
What the heck?
It was
Why would
more.
you spend
It was
that much
more of like a
money?
prequel
Yeah,
to the show.
It was about
Oh,
the
okay.
USS Shenzhou.
Shenzhou.
Yeah. So yeah,
Well, it was no, that's
Does that mean-
season 1 was good.
no. Season 1 was good. Don't get me wrong. I'm very interested to see where they go with this. Rick and Morty meets Star Trek.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
Well, that's what it is.
But I want to see Rick on there. And there's just a random red shirt that
that'd be
walks by. He
hilarious.
just
And
annihilates him.
he's got that shocking blue hair as he walks by,
You know what I
Yeah.
always wanted to
mumbling
see?
about stupid kids.
There was something I always wanted to see for years and it never happened, and it didn't happen because of good reason. Mad Dog Murdoch and Reg Barkley have a conversation.
Oh no, that'd be fun.
There you go.
That'd be all right. I would like to see as a cameo, as like an Easter egg. There should be a pickle in every episode.
That'd be funny.
Like
I
a
was thinking-
pineapple in Psych.
Yeah, like a pineapple in Psych or something along those lines. But there should be a little pickle in Firefly, the first season of Firefly. You know that epic first season,
Oh my
followed
gosh,
up by the
yes.
awesome seasons.
Yeah, in that movie.
There is a Han Solo in carbonite figure in every episode. You just have to find it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to
By the
watch
way,
it now.
There's one in every episode. You
Jill
just-
State. Going to be in San Antonio.
coming to-
November
coming to
10th
San
and
Antonio.
11th.
Nice.
So that'd be cool if there was like a little pickle at some point in every episode.
If the pickle's not in there, maybe the red shirt that dies is Morty. Really looks like Morty.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
That'd just be hilarious. You just see
They
like, oh, look, a red
killed Morty.
shirt, and then Morty.
Okay, that'd be pretty cool. You know what's also really cool going on right now is the Texas Renaissance Festival. These guys put on a tremendous show. It is a weekend, especially now that the weather's starting to clear a little bit. I mean, this is the time to get out there because it's going to end November 25th, I think is, November 25th is when it ends. So it's going to be November here in just a little while, and next thing you know, it's gone. It's done. It's over with. Get out there now. 650,000 people are going to attend this event, guys. Themed weekends. Great vendors, plenty of food, 200 acres of campgrounds. This is the largest Renaissance festival in North America. And guys, it's an experience to go there. It's like going to the state fair. It's like going to a college football game. It's something that you never, ever forget. It is a truly unique experience. You're going to get your tickets at texrunfest.com. And don't forget that on Sunday, kids under the age of 13 get in for free. And I don't mean like no strings attached. It's not free if they dress up, free if they're part of a group of 20 or more. So, no. I mean free on Sundays. So you want to make sure to go over to TexRunFest, TEXRunFest.com, and get your tickets now. Are you going? Are you checking? You better be. TexRunFest.com. All right, so Goose showed me something earlier in the week, and this kind of got my attention in a way that I think we should all change how ratings are done. I'm using air quotes here with my ratings. In the beginning, back in the day when there were, all of 3 channels and the remote control was the youngest person in the room, and you just kind of gave him a little nudge with your foot and said, go change the channel from 3 to 4.
And Arm Day was going to the UHF channels.
There you go. Nielsen was the ratings system. That's what shows lived and died by Nielsen's ratings and sweeps week. And we learned
However flawed that system is.
Yeah. And we learned all sorts of new words like 18 to 49 and 7 to 10 p.m. and Fridays are death days.
And 2+ and 12+. And
absolutely. And households of this, that, and the other, and all sorts of demographics. That's been that way for, I kid you not, 50, 60, 70 years. But now all of a sudden, we're starting to look at ratings in an entirely new manner, something completely different. And that's what we're calling conversations. All right, so what is a conversation? This is a new way of looking at it, and this is what might have killed Iron Fist and Luke Cage. Iron Fist dropped almost 100,000 online conversations between the first season premiere and the second season premiere. So what does that mean? It means fewer hashtags. It means fewer ats and tags and things along those lines. That's what they're looking at, those impressions. Of every time you do, wow, that hashtag Daredevil episode was the greatest thing ever.
That's a conversation.
That's a conversation. And then somebody retweets that or they reply to it, and that keeps the conversation going.
Hey, guys, y'all should really watch @Marvel's hashtag Daredevil show on @Netflix.
Exactly. So when we say that Iron Fist dropped almost 100,000 conversations, that's a lot. That's 100,000 fewer people talking about this show. Now, the way Nielsen works, now correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
The way
hasn't stopped me before.
The way Nielsen works is basically it's an honor system.
Well, not only that.
You promised.
Well,
So
that's part of it, though.
So, household has a box. That household represents X number of households in that area.
It's a sample size.
And then same thing with the diaries. That diary that you get represents X amount of households.
Right.
And with the box, it's not really the honor system because it can actually detect. But with the diaries, it is the honor system. So you fill it out, you send it off, and there you go.
That being said, though,
But that's a very flawed way of doing it, because if you're a fan of Magnum and everybody else in your area isn't a fan of Magnum PI, then...
And not only that, but what if, let's say, the box records that you're watching Felicity, and that's because, your little girl got an A in a biology exam, and so she's rewarded with watching Felicity, and nobody else cares in the household of 18 people about Felicity.
Or you're a single male, so you're watching football while everybody around you is watching Star Wars Resistance.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, so it's a flawed system. However, you can track all of these things on social media. Everything that's trending on Twitter, that's something that these market analysts are taking a very close look at. So Iron Fist dropped 100,000 conversations between season 1 premiere and season 2 premiere. It had a mere 20,000 Instagram and Twitter posts. Now, I know 20,000 sounds like a lot. When you
it does
think about
for
it,
us.
when you
Yeah.
think about it, but that's I think that's the entire population of the Northeast Independent School District High School.
In San Antonio.
That's one school district in San Antonio. I think they have 7 high schools at about 3,000 apiece.
That's about the size of my hometown.
Yeah.
About 20,000.
So that's
how small it
really
was.
that's really not a lot. And you can spin the ratings any way you want with Nielsen, but that's nothing.
The one thing that I like about digital is that it's easily tractable, easily verified, and easily consumable to people who are apt to analyze these things. So, like me, for instance, I love just going through numbers and being a numbers guy. That's just what I am. And so when somebody says, "Hey," like for instance, sometimes our sponsors ask for numbers, whether they be podcast downloads, which we can find, followers on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, which we have readily available,
Right.
subscribers on YouTube, not just page views, but also video views, like
Right.
when we do our videos on Facebook and YouTube and all of that. That's easy. That's easily digestible, easily accessible. The problem is you live by the rating, you die by the rating.
Right.
So if your entire thing is, you know what? We're going to rely on the masses to get word out about our show and to talk about it. And that's how we're going to gauge the effectiveness of this program. Mm-hmm. If all of a sudden those conversations drop or turn negative, then you're not bringing in new people.
Right.
Now, as another example here, Luke Cage, that was recently canceled, went from 300,000 conversations on Instagram and Twitter to just under 50,000.
Ooh.
Season 2's premiere couldn't reach 50,000.
So they dropped 250K out of 300K. That's like a 75%, 80% drop.
It's a lot. It's 80% drop.
80% drop. I mean, that's massive.
And that's the same thing that Iron Fist suffered too.
And
Was
that-
80%.
And that's how they justify, no one's talking about you guys. Oh, but our Nielsen ratings, nobody's talking about you guys. So off they went.
Now, of course, we don't get views off of Netflix. Doesn't release their views, their downloads,
True.
download equivalent, and neither does Hulu that I'm aware of. Things like that. So we don't know what the ratings are. We just know what the impressions are, or
But I
when
mean,
they
with
choose to
the-
release them.
With the impressions that low, though, I mean, who knows how many people actually watched it? Because I mean, you can.
Because,
I don't know, that's
yeah, whatever you're
really
watching, you're gonna talk
huge-
about it.
Yeah, I mean that's a huge drop, especially for like Luke Cage. I mean that's
Yeah.
like a shocking number. Like you go from 300,000 people, like you filled the whole stadium, and then you come back next year and it's just that section 106, and that's all you have filled.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
it's
you take so let's put it in terms we understand. So Spurs draw 20,000,
yeah, exactly,
and then they draw 5,000.
exactly. And that's got to be beating people down when they see that too, as
Yeah.
actors and people that work on it. But I wonder if they would ever release their numbers, like how many times was it streamed? How many times was it downloaded?
I don't think we'll ever know that. I think that's proprietary to Netflix, and they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
Hashtag Daredevil has 150 tweets in the last half hour. Hashtag
Wow.
Daredevil. So to give you an idea about impressions and trending and all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, if you're going to watch it, you're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And people love to say what sucks, and people love to say what rocks. And if no one's talking about you at all,
Well, more people have to talk about what sucks than what rocks.
that is true. If it bleeds, it leads. But if you look at it this way, the worst thing that can happen is nobody talks about you.
And that's what's happened.
That is
here.
the worst thing. Like when we broke the story about Alamo City Comics closing, people were talking all about us. It was all negative. Well, it was mostly negative. We ended up being right, by the way. But at the same time, at least people were talking about
Yeah.
us. The worst thing that I can do is post something on our Facebook page and nobody likes, comments, or shares it.
Yeah, it just dies in the water.
If I
It's
get
dead in the water.
55 comments and they're all negative, I'm actually okay with that, depending, of course, on what it is. But, it's all about the conversation. So this is the new rating system going forward.
That's the old pro wrestling adage. Don't care if you like me. Don't care if you hate me. You're reacting to me.
You're talking to
Exactly.
me. That's exactly it. So that's the important thing to take out of this is look at what's trending. Look at what conversations are going on. If there are no conversations going on about your product or your service or your show, it ain't gonna last long. I'm just saying. Speaking
Not at
of
all.
which,
Yes.
Speaking of which, so we have a tidy little show here ourselves, by the way,
do.
that gets some conversation. Our reach, by the way, on Facebook alone was 270,000 in the last week.
Ooh.
Means our posts were seen by 270,000 people in the last week. That's a little behind the scenes knowledge there for you. But we're also looking for people to advertise on our show.
Yes, we are.
We would love to have
many as
people
we can.
advertise on our show. So if you know somebody, or if you own a business or whatever, and you want some advertising, we're more than willing to talk to you. And all of our rates are low. I'm just saying.
No, they're reasonable.
They're low.
They're reasonable.
Reasonably low.
We're looking for, in particular, here's what I'd like. I'd like to be able to do reviews, again, movie reviews, like on site. Love to be able to do those
that'd be
again.
awesome.
Or if there's a restaurant nearby, a movie theater that wants us to do reviews at their restaurant.
Establishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would be happy to do that too. I would love to do more within the community. That'd be
My
fantastic.
tummy would be happy.
Your tummy would be happy too. That would be really nice. So, just keeping in mind that we are, and it's not bragging if it's true, right? That's the old
Right.
adage. We are one of the most listened to talk radio shows for geeks in the United States, and geek is in. It is the in thing right now.
Yeah.
Everybody's a geek nowadays. We're an award-winning show, and we are very proud to be here in San Antonio to represent all things San Antonio. So if you wanted to do some advertising with us, like we do for the Texas Renaissance Festival, like we do for SeaWorld of San Antonio, we'll be more than happy to talk to you about it. Just shoot us an email. My email is davethehost@getyourgeekon.org. You can also shoot us a tweet, you know, those little private message things. We're at GYGO Radio there as well. And of course, our Facebook page has a message area, facebook.com/GYGO Radio. So that'll wrap it up here. For Goose, for Aaron, and for myself, I want to thank our sponsors, the Texans Renaissance Festival, Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch, Havoc, and The Mailing Spot. Thank you for listening, and be sure to get your geek on every single day.